This is Bruce from Record Collector's Paradise, and today we are going to be featuring and showing you a portion of a collection that we picked up very recently. And what's interesting and very special about this collection that you are looking at is that everything is in original shrink and everything has a hype sticker. So we at Record Collector's Paradise, we love hype stickers. I of course like hype stickers quite a bit. So we are going to take a look at what we have now. Something to keep in mind here is that the majority of these records are Canadian pressings. So my assumption is that a lot of these hype stickers are possibly different from the American ones, from American pressings. Now, a lot of collectors have their own opinions about hype stickers. Now, for me, I give them more importance, I think, because I almost look at them as the same as an insert, because these actually come with the record. They're put on by the company that presses the records. So I guess I feel that it's more of a part of the package, as opposed to, oh, it's just a sticker that once you take the shrink off, you throw it away. So, I, like probably a lot of others, I really like the exciting hype stickers, the ones that are bright and maybe have a picture on, maybe have the band logo, and then you get common ones that are more like this, where they just maybe list the hits. And I think that was probably, for the most part, the reason they started doing hype stickers, is people can look at an album and not realize that a really good song, or their favorite song, or a song they hear on the radio all the time is actually on there. And that's a really nice, cool, bright hype sticker. And a lot of times it'll also tell you that there's something else inside the record. There may be a photo, there may be some sort of an insert, and that will further entice you to purchase the said record. There's another, interesting hype sticker. I really like that type of sticker. And then you also get the groups, the bands, the artists who sometimes do not put their name on the album front, or they may not put the title of the album on the front of the record, or both. And towards the end of this flip, we sort of stuck a little stack of them together to show you that there's a typical one as well. It's so well known that everybody knows the wall, but we don't really see the hype sticker that often, especially in a gatefold album, because people want to open the gatefold. And of course, once they open the gatefold, the shrink is usually gone with the hype sticker attached to it. Now, for me, in my own collection, where I specialize in certain groups, if they've ever changed hype stickers, so for instance, some bands may, on their first press, not even have a hype sticker. On the second press, they'll include their first hit single. On their third press, they may include both, 2 or 3 singles that have been released. So just because there are, or you see one hype sticker for an album, it doesn't mean there are other ones that were also produced. You know, here's something interesting. They also advertise a contest, which is unusual. I would consider that a hype sticker as well, because they're putting a sticker on to try and entice you to pick up that record. When you hit something like a soundtrack, they may list several artists and several songs, many of which were hits on Top 40 radio. And I think, you know, being someone that buys a lot of records, we're a very busy store and we get collections in daily, I think we appreciate hype stickers a little bit more, because certain records, you know, or many of the records you're even looking at now, we see them often. But we may possibly go through, say, 50 to 100 of that specific record before we see a hype sticker. And I always like it when we see a collection like this. And it was interesting because this collection was it was being middled by someone, and when we first started looking at it, it was almost a year and a half ago. It was a difficult collection to purchase for different reasons, but obviously we're happy to get it, and we were referring to it as the hype collection, or the hype sticker collection, for a long time, just in that it was unusual for us to see this many hype stickers, and many of which we just have never seen before. And there are instances. Now there's another great hype sticker. Pictures of the band and so on. You know, to me, if I'm collecting a band and they have that type of hype sticker, that's something I gotta have. Gotta have that. And there just wasn't a lot of people who cared about shrink wrap. So that's sort of the way we look at it at Record Collectors Paradise. We cherish the hype sticker because they are not common, hard to find, and you have to realize too that a lot of these records are getting to be 40 to 50 years old. So, you know, every time a collection is moved, shuffled around, they may lose, even if it has shrink and hypes, they eventually will get damaged and be thrown away. And I think one reason we see the amount of shrink and hype in this collection is because the gentleman who owned the collection was very particular with the condition he kept his records in. We did a flip video a little bit earlier of all of his sealed records, and I think we had, is it over 200, right, Andrew?
Yes.
It was over 200 sealed records. He had a reel-to-reel player, and a lot of the records that we're flipping through more than likely would have been one-play records that he opened them up, took the record out, played it once while he taped it onto his reel-to-reel player, and that was it. They went into boxes and never to be touched again. The only, I guess, unfortunate thing is wherever he had these stored, at one time that there was a some sort of a water incident, and the boxes had been stacked up high, so all of the boxes that were on the floor, and that's just a reminder to never store your records on the floor, but all of those were destroyed. So he probably had several hundred records that we never got to see because of water damage from a flood. And in this collection, there's also a lot of great Canadian groups. And so many of these records were never even released in the US. So the records are obscure down into the US, let alone the hype stickers. It's not too often you find a record like that where they'll advertise the group that they played for before. And of course, 12-inch singles, a lot of time they were released in plain covers, so the hype sticker was very important. You got to know exactly what you were getting. And once that shrink was gone, you more or less had to look at the small letters of the record itself. And with the records you're looking at, the majority of these were probably purchased in the late 70s through the 80s, just by looking at the prices and the albums and the pressings, for what we can tell. But everything he had was in very, very nice condition. Another very bright, and we see this record all the time. That's probably the first time I've seen that hype sticker. And I think with this hype sticker collection, I'll call it, we probably have maybe 400 records here. 400 different records with stickers. You know, some are very plain, limited edition colored vinyl. That's it. I enjoy especially also the soundtrack records, because once it's been 20 years after the movie, you may not always remember that there were some great songs in those movies, and these stickers help you remember. Here's a really interesting one. You don't see that too often. That's on the Canadian Capital 6000 series, and very, very rare to find that with original shrink, and they actually have given a photo in there. Unfortunately, on that specific record, which is in beautiful shape with the original inner sleeve, the picture was gone. So in almost all of these records, all of the inserts were left in place. However, unfortunately, like I said, that Beatles one did not have the sticker. We're coming up to our last box, and what we did is we put together a few of the albums where there is no name of the band or the record on it. So the hype sticker was important. I mean, obviously most people would recognize share. And this one, Bad Company, that's the hype sticker. Great hype sticker on that one. They put the price tag on top of it. Should be able to take that off. Look at that hype sticker. Awesome. Prince and James Taylor seem to do a fair number of these. Unusual that on a best of LP they wouldn't actually put the name of the LP on the cover, but they didn't. John Fogerty. And again, really hard to find these ones when they were double. This is a triple album, so the odds of ever seeing this with the hype sticker are very, very small. Some really nice later 80s stuff as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed looking through and seeing a lot of hype sticker stuff. Thanks for watching.